So I have a video that I want to react to with you guys because I'm curious about your thoughts. Because this video got a bunch of hate. I'm curious about your thoughts on it because everybody is very divided on this in the comment section of this video. This is the TikTok video in question, and it was posted by, I am going to butcher their name really badly, but it's by M. Lowinson, who goes by the name Michael Lowinson. And this is the video. The video is captioned with the words that read, "This artist quoted me $20,000 for this flower art piece, ...
$10 for this flower art piece. Decided she could make it herself. First, paper in the colors she wanted. Then she would individually hold punch circles for each color to make the flowers. She then glued each circle to each other individually to make.
By the way, I feel so bad for the wife's hands.
Some would even get one to put rhinestones glued on to make it sparkle. Once the flowers were made, she glued a base layer of around 2,000 flowers to the canvas to outline the pattern. Once the base layer was done, she placed 2,000 tins for the second layer. Then it was time to add the top layer of flowers. Approximately 4,000 flowers later, she created a masterpiece.
Like, this looks really pretty, and I like how they encase it in glass as well, so it's safe. I mean, I'd rather make it than pay $20,000 for it. Yeah. Santiago, my hands could never. Oh, my hands could never also. This looks extremely tiring. But yeah, look at the different colors as well. And this is just kind of how it looks like in their living room. So I think this looks really, really pretty, but people in the comments are debating the ethics of copying somebody else's artwork like this. And in the caption of the video, it reads, "My wife saved us $20,000 by making this art piece instead of buying it. Hopefully one day we will be able to afford an original from the amazingly talented Steph Ross, but for now, this is what we can afford." And Squid says Steph Ross is the original artist, and Michael says she is so talented. I wish we could afford the original, but we had to make do with what we could buy. And Ashley says she did a great job and saved you $20,000. You owe her a $19,000 purse. And Michael says, I hope she doesn't see your comment, LMAO. And Lee says maybe after all that work, she'll understand why it was $20,000. And Frederick writes, "This is amazing, but there's no need to also discredit the other artists for their pieces. Inspiration makes us all creative and new." And Michael says, "Don't want to discredit anything. I wish we could afford the original, but we had to make do with what we could buy." You know, somebody writes, "Can't put a price on the original artist's ingenuity." And Michael says, "Totally agree. I wish we could afford an original, but we had to make do with our budget." And Jane Nash writes like the very good point. You know, why does everyone always assume just because somebody said they can't afford it, that it means they don't understand why it's priced that way and are complaining? A lot of people had that sentiment though, right? From my understanding, Iris, it was not copied one-to-one. They just took the technique the artists use. So if you saw the artist, like the style of their artwork is all of these flowers. I don't know if they're paper or not paper, right? But they're like really like small handmade flowers that are punched in, like placed at different heights across an entire large canvas. In my opinion, reading comprehension online is quite poor, and everyone seems to be thinking that Michael, or you know, him and his wife, have the sentiment, "Oh, this artist quoted me at $20,000. It's not worth that much, so I'm gonna go and make it myself for cheaper." Like, that's not what Michael said. It seemed like they had the sentiment of, "I love their work, but I'm kind of broke, so we just made do with what we have, but we still want to get the original when we can afford it." I feel like this is the same sentiment as, for like, an example is like clothing, right? If you really, really want a specific article of clothing with like a design on it, but you can't afford it, then you just kind of DIY it yourself so that you can kind of have some essence of it while you're balling on your budget, and then down the line when you make enough money, you get it. You know, like, dude, I would love a Chanel flap. I would love a Chanel flap, okay? It is $10,000. I do not have $10,000 to piss away on a bag. So instead, I bought a dupe. I bought a dupe of the Chanel bag that is about $25. Okay, looks close enough to me. It's the black quilted with the gold chain. The only thing is it doesn't have the C and label embossed on the front of it. It's fine. I can't afford a Chanel flap, so I will ball with my $25 dupe instead. It's not like a fuck you Chanel. Like, I still want the actual bag. I just can't afford it. So we're balling with what we can. I feel like this is like the same sentiment. Obviously, the nuance is a little bit different when it comes to artwork. But the other thing that people are really pointing out too is that it wasn't like they made this to sell. It wasn't like they were like, oh yeah, the original artist, I can't afford it, so I'm gonna dupe it and sell it for profit. They just wanted it to decorate their living room with. They couldn't afford the original because it's 20K, so they DIY'd it themselves so they could have a version of it. It seemed like their sentiment is when they can't afford it, they will buy it. So I'm wondering what you guys think as to whether this is ethical or not to do, right? Blunt, I think it's fine as long as it's not sold for profit, right? Yeah, they did not say they were intended to sell it for profit. They put it up in their living room or what looks to be their living or dining room. Whenever I see a shirt design I like but I can't afford, I see if my mom can make it or no. Esme, oh yeah, I do that too. Like when I was a kid, I would do like the Nike design, you know, like I would love Nike shirts with Nike written across, but I would kind of like DIY it myself because I couldn't afford it back then. And people were stating, oh, if you go on their page, you know, their art isn't that expensive. I mean, here's Steph Ross's page, and as you can see, the artwork, which again, so pretty. And yeah, they are the flower circles with little rhinestones on them, different variations of that as well, but it says like from 1800, so I guess at the size, you know, bigger canvas, more expensive frame, white frame. Yeah, it'd be kind of expensive. Not 20,000, but maybe they wanted like a specific piece. I don't know, right? Maybe they wanted something else, something much more specific, and that's why their quote is so much higher than what the website kind of quotes it at. But this is so pretty. The artwork is so pretty. If I could afford something like this, I would absolutely love that. Oh, they might have gotten a quote for a custom one with custom colors and look, etc. Yeah. So probably like custom colors, whatever look, maybe a custom size too. Maybe they want a specific shape. I don't know, right? But I mean, the artist is completely valid and fair in their pricing. And in my opinion, nothing about Michael's video implied that he didn't recognize that either. It seemed like they referring to him and his wife, recognize that the piece is expensive and they like it. It's just down the line when they can afford it, they want to get it. But right now they can't, so it's okay as well, you know? But yeah, art is expensive, y'all. Art is expensive, but in my opinion, it's very, very worth it if you can't afford it. Like, if you can get the original piece, like, amazing for you. He also brought her so much marketing. True. I don't see the issue with fake art just for decoration in your house. Yeah, I mean, I would say if you could avoid like stealing artwork when possible, that would be great. But if you're not selling it for profit, you're doing it in your own home. Nobody else is gonna see it. You're not gonna make claims where it doesn't belong. You know what I mean? You're not gonna claim that you're not gonna claim that the idea and it was from that your hands put it together, but like the inspiration came from Steph Ross. He gave credit where credit was due. Seems fair. Twitch son, I don't know where he went. Oh, he's napping by the door. They also credit her very well in the video too, and every comment replied recognized that the original did belong to the original artist. Yeah, never looked like at any point they were trying to claim something that wasn't true. They weren't trying to claim that the piece was not made by them, because it was.